This episode sponsored by the Bomb Box. When someone you love is going through cancer, you want to do more than send flowers. You want to truly help. That's why there's the Bomb Box. Founded by 6-time cancer survivor Liz Bendit, the Bomb Box creates thoughtfully curated care packages filled with premium, practical tools designed specifically for surgery, chemo, and recovery. Every item is chosen based on insights from more than 500 patients and caregivers, because during treatment, the smallest comforts can make the biggest difference. Don't just send a gift, send real support. Visit thebombbox.com today and get free shipping on orders over $50. That's THEBALMBOX.com.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be a real-life medium? Then this is the podcast for you. In this show, you'll learn how to open your heart to spirit, hear adventures I've experienced as an award-winning psychic medium and teacher. Plus, I'm going to give you some psychic information and insight into what the future holds for our increasingly crazy world. Tune in every Friday and get ready to connect to the other side. I'm Jen, and I'll be your guide starting right now. No, it's not spooky time. You're reading the title of this podcast episode called The Irish Witch Who Did a Reading for Me. It's not spooky time, okay? You guys know in the past episodes I have talked about I don't like Halloween. I do like spooky things a little bit. Cute Halloween is good, as I've talked about before. And obviously I was a paranormal investigator, so I kind of like spooky things. But that's another story. I want to have a story time with Jen today. I'm going to tell you a little story. So the Irish witch who did a reading for me. How does that even happen? Don't know. So I guess it started, I was on Etsy, which I haven't been on Etsy in a long time. And Etsy is a website where people normally post their creations, their craftiness, their sewing things and their doodads and their, sweaters. I bought sweaters off there before. And apparently they have mediums on there and psychics. So I was downloading some PDFs for Spirit School, and which I was like, they have everything on there. It's like eBay, only better. Like 2007, I was all about the eBay, and now I'm like all about the Etsy. So I'm on there and there's like all these pop-ups for like readings. And there was like one for like, this is, if you go back and listen to the episode where I can't remember what it was called, but I had a reading. It was the bad readings or something. And I had 2 psychic readings from Fiverr just to try them out and see what it was like. And because mediums and psychics also want readings, you guys. And so this time I'm on Etsy and I'm like, okay, we'll just try it. It's like $16, I believe. I didn't read very carefully. I was just drawn to this one advertisement for a PDF. Actually, I think it was for a voice reading. And I didn't really go through it thoroughly. I didn't even know what her name was or anything, that she was a witch or from where she was from. So I ended up she was from Ireland. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so when I got the recording last night at like 10 o'clock at night after a week of me buying this $16 reading, I was trying to listen to it. Her accent is very heavy. And the cool part about this episode is I'm actually going to share with you the actual recording of what she said to me in a channeled message. Dude, she channeled like in some other spirit's voice. And you can actually tell the difference between her voice, like this psychic witch's voice is very heavily accented. And then when she channels this entity or this being, this spirit being, in my reading and gives me advice on my spiritual business, it's like a little bit lighter, and it's really cool to see her voice change. So I'm going to play that for you here in a minute so you can listen to it. But I wanted to ask about my spiritual business. I didn't ask a specific question. He just tapped into my spirit. I was just following my soul pull. My soul's like, hey, ask this lady a question, from across the world. Big deal. Just ask this lady a question. Like, what do you see for my spiritual business? Right. And the response that I got was a little bit general, but I was so enthralled with like the advice that this, and I'll tell you the name of the entity or the spirit that she channeled. And she actually says to me, you know how it is, like sometimes you can get like a bad spirit coming in, so I'm not going to stay in very long. So I believe the channeled message was maybe 2 minutes long, because she was worried that she was going to have a malevolent spirit come in and use her body and channel through her. But the message is really cool, so I'll let you listen to that in a couple of minutes. So anyways, the message that I got was, just keep going, all these things. But before I let you listen to the message, before I put the recording here of the channeled message from the Irish witch, I'm going to share one story, maybe two little ones as well. So interjecting here for a moment. So basically the gist of this, or the moral of this story is to, like, how could me as a psychic and a human and very intuitive person ignore my intuition? Well, I did. So the first incident that happened this week, it's been a rough week. So the first incident that happened this week of me ignoring my intuition was I took the dogs for a walk like I normally do. However, it was raining, which is weird. But I'm like, I need to go for a walk with the dogs. Took the dogs. And I accidentally, maybe, I don't know if this is like, anyways, went down the wrong street. So we're in a subdivision and there's like another street that's beside our parallel to ours. So I went down there and I'm like, that doesn't look like the house that has the grass growing up to your knees. And I'm like, oh, I'm on the wrong street. So I went down the wrong street. So which means I had to go all the way down that street and then turn left and go back up the other way, which I normally don't go that route, to our street. So I come out and I'm maybe 4 houses away from our house, and Chad comes out on the driveway. He's like, I was just going to come in and pick you up in the Jeep because it's raining, you sillies. And we're soaked by then, which is fine. And I just like let Jake off, who's the boxer. I try to let him off of his harness, of his leash, to let him go run 4 little houses down the street to go see Chad. And as I was doing that, I had this niggling feeling like, don't do it. Something's weird. And even before I went for the walk, I had the feeling, that feeling where you're like, something weird's going to happen here. I don't know what it is, but something weird's going to happen. And I always have this fear that some dogs are going to come attack us when we're walking, because it has happened before. Like, we weren't seriously hurt, but there's been at least 2 incidents in our neighborhood, in our little town, where dogs have attacked our dogs. And luckily, like, I have like an angel up my butt, and Chad's butt too, because we are so lucky, like, it doesn't ever get to like a horrible, disastrous, tragic situation. And like, we always have protection, it feels like. So it's never like, it's traumatic, but never to the point where it actually could be, So as I'm trying to take the lead off, his leash off of the harness, it gets stuck. Like, it won't let me take it off. And I'm like, come on, you stupid harness, like, let go of the leash or whatever. And I finally get him off. Well, now by this time I'm 2 houses, and I had a feeling. I'm like, and I just ignored it. And I was like, no, it's fine. He's going to go run to Chad. Well, didn't Jake, the boxer, run past Chad, which he normally is a very good listener and goes straight to Chad and goes in the house, went past Chad and goes to the neighbor's house. And it was like 2 seconds. He comes back 2 seconds later, and I'm like, that was weird. Didn't see what happened. He gets to the top of the stairs, and I'm like, I get him in the house. I'm like, what is that horrible smell? Well, apparently he found a little skunk. So he got sprayed, and Jake's whole face is like covered in this white, horrible smelling skunk spray. And if you've ever had a dog that been sprayed by a skunk, or you've ever been sprayed, that smell is horrendous. And you also know that you cannot. This is 9:00 at night. There's no stores open. We're out of the skunk spray shampoo. What are we supposed to do? And I felt so bad. I'm like, this is like, I feel like I'm cursed with the dogs lately, because I'm like, bad things keep happening every time I'm with the dogs. Like, it's always because of me. It's never because of Chad. It's always because of me. Something happens with the dogs. So anyways, Chad, we couldn't do anything, and Chad had to go to work the next day. So he tried to scrub the dog's face off with Dawn or whatever, and he still smelled, and then our bedroom smelled. It could have been worse. But going back to the, like, it didn't trust my intuition. And also, like, the powers that be were trying to show me, like, don't take the leash off, because it wouldn't come off. I tried 3 times to get it off, 3 houses down. It was like a split-second thing, and I was like, oh, I had a bad feeling the whole time. Like, I knew it. Like, I knew something was going to happen, and I ignored it. So don't ignore. And I know you're still going to do it, but if you ever have this opportunity and you get this like weird feeling about something, just maybe change your route. And again, if I hadn't gone that way, maybe this wouldn't have happened, or would have happened worse, because we would have come around the other way, and maybe he would have made a beeline right, like, from the other way. I don't know, but it was just weird how I went down the wrong street, and it was dark. So, like, sometimes I go down the wrong street because they all look the freaking same, right? So just always listen to your intuition, okay? Always, I promise. And I know you heard stories about this on other podcasts, but I feel like you're going to hear it repeatedly over and over so that you do listen, you know? Like I've had this even before I was a psychic and a medium, where I was supposed to go to Zumba when I lived in Orangeville, and then like I was all of a sudden before I left, I would feel super nauseous for no reason at all. Like didn't eat anything bad. It was just this, and then I think one time I ripped my pants on the way out the door. So I was like, oh, I'm still going to go. No. And then the second time this happened, I'm like, I'm not going to Zumba. Like I didn't go because I don't know what would have happened. Like maybe something was going to happen. I don't know. So you're always being guided with your inner knowing to choose things, or like listen to your inner warnings. Listen to that little nudge, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that. No, it's fine. No, listen to it. And then this is fresh today. So last night when I was going, I think maybe 2 nights ago, when I go to bed, sometimes I hear like, I don't know if it's my guides or my higher self, whatever. It's a different tonation. And I heard, you're going to have a big shock. Like a shocking news. I think the message was, I heard in my head, you're going to have something shocking happen. So I'm like, okay, that was weird. And then something happened today with dogs. And anyways, don't want to talk about it because it's a little traumatic for me, but everyone's okay. That's the good news. Everyone is okay. You know, it could have been worse. It was, you know, I feel like, again, we have angels up our ass. Like it's just, maybe that's not the saying angels. Maybe the saying is actually horseshoe up your butt, but that's what's coming to you right now. So enough about that. I hope you understand that your intuition and your higher self and that higher wisdom within you is very important to listen to always. Okay. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to play the recording of the channeled message from the Irish witch. I thought she was super cool. Like I enjoyed the reading, even though I didn't get specific answers, but it's nice to know, you know, that you're on the right track, you know. And it's also sometimes, like I said, psychics and mediums sometimes like to get readings. I haven't had a great track record in the past with psychics, me going to a reading, except for one of my students did an amazing reading for me once, but that's about it. So
hello there.
I'll stop
right
yammering on.
Now you've asked me to tap into your spiritual business. What I thought the best thing to do was do this in a clairaudient way. Let the spirit come through and actually say, you know, a guide or something like that. When I do them in a clairaudient way, they are shorter readings, because as I'm quite sure you will understand, doing spiritual work, that a person can get taken over. Or, you know, spirits can try and possess people. They're not all kindly spirits. So I have to keep it, you know, kind of fairly short because of that. But no, let's see what the spirit says, because I think that's the purest way to do it. Future, what you need to do. Let's see. Keep going and do not let other people or circumstances in your life force you from your known path. You may find that you have distractions or other things that need attending to. However, do not let go of your aims and goals. Keep going. Think forward, not backwards. Think of all of the things you have achieved already and move from there. See yourself as a successful person, a successful lion in your den. See your energy cosmically radiating outwards and attracting customers of all kinds to you. See the light shining around you and your magnetism drawing help from all kinds of unexpected places into you. Above all, do not let a few setbacks stop you. On the practical side, where finances are concerned, you can always do sidelines and other things to bring money in, while you concentrate in the background on following your spiritual aims. This is very important for you. Believe in yourself. Know that this is the path you are meant to follow, and carry on accordingly with supreme confidence that you have made the right decision. Goodbye. Right, thank you and goodbye to that spirit, Sadie, that came through. She was very helpful, I feel, and I feel that what she said, that she was telling the truth in what she said. So thank you very much once more, and I'm sure that you will have the success you deserve. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I love that she says bye-bye. So it's like, is that her saying bye-bye, or is that the spirit saying bye-bye? Like she channeled that. So what happens when she allowed a spirit entity, what she called SADIE, to channel a message for me. And channeling is an actual thing. I don't actually teach it, but drum roll, please. That's a terrible drum. I'm actually going to be teaching channeling this winter. So every term I teach classes. So fall has already started. Actually, fall classes start tonight. So in the winter begins in January. And what I normally do in January is I'll teach either a psychic class or a mediumship class, depending on the level and what is available. So I'm going to be teaching a beginner mediumship class. So you can sign up for that pretty soon. Not yet. Check Instagram for that announcement. Beginner mediumship level 1. And then I'm going to do a channeling class, which I have never done before. So you can learn how to channel as well, which is an example of that. You don't have to channel spirits, but that's going to be part of it. And I think it's going to be really amazing because I feel like I need to change things up. I've been doing the same classes for 5 years, like on repeat, right? So sometimes you need to change things up. You need to change it up. And I hope you really enjoyed my channeled message from the Irish Witch. She is cool. I will post her link down because she also does spells and things like this as well too. I'm not into that kind of thing with the spells and whatnot, but maybe you are if you're listening. I don't know. And I think that's all I want to talk to you about today. I'm going to leave you with that on the Singing Medium podcast. Thank you so much for listening as always. Next week, I will actually be in Florida. So we will see if there is a podcast episode then. I won't be recording in Florida, but I will see if I can make one ahead so that you guys get your weekly dose of the Singing Medium and my crazy stories, maybe a psychic prediction or two, and we'll see you all next time on the podcast. See you later. Go follow me on Instagram, elevate.hersoul. Bye bye.